In the name of Allah, the Beneficent and Merciful, hello everybody, how are you doing? We're doing great by the grace and mercy of Almighty Allah. My name's NA Saqib. I'm your IELTS 2 IELTS trainer. Additionally, I've been also teaching the students of spoken English for the last 20 years. Today's lecture is about listening subtest of the IELTS, and after the overview, today I want to give you the test format. And this is the first part of this test format actually. As far as this first part is concerned, I will give you some tips, very valuable tips, and they're going to help you out a lot in scoring good band scores in IELTS listening subtest. So my tip number one is you will have 4 recordings of native English speakers and then write your answer to the series of questions. 4 recordings in 4 parts, part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4, and the test actually finishes in 30 minutes and 10 minutes are given additionally for transferring your answers onto the answer sheet. So there are native English speakers who speak in the recordings, and you got to listen to them very carefully and with a lot of concentration. Each part has 10 questions, making 40 in all. In every part there are 10 questions, and there are 4 parts, so there are 40 questions altogether. 10 questions in each part. Mind you, the questions are not long or subjective type. They are very short, 1-word answer, 2-word answer, or 3-word answer. Sometimes in case of just alphabet, A, B, C, when it is a multiple choice kind of question. My next tip is part 1 and 2 are based on social survival in an English speaking country. Part 1 and 2 are actually in the context of social, they're in the social context. So in society, everyday situations are presented. What kind of situations are presented? We'll talk about all those details in the next lecture. But the first 2 parts are in the context of social interaction. And part 3 and 4, on the other hand, are more education and training oriented. I mean, they are a bit difficult, more difficult than part 1 and 2. What is the level of difficulty? We'll talk about all that stuff in the next lecture. But today, part 1 and 2 in the social context, part 3 and 4 in the educational or training context, we find there in the listening test. Mind you, the recordings are played only once. There is no second time playing it. There is no concept. You got to concentrate on the first time recording, in playing it first time, and then you have to assemble the information. You got to write it down on your answer sheet. But before writing it on the answer sheet, you got to write it down on the question booklet, which will be provided to you. And afterwards, 10 minutes, as I told you earlier on, will be allocated and spared for transferring your answer on the answer sheets. And the next question, next point would be, I beg your pardon, they include a range of accents. For example, including British accent, Australian accent, accent of the people of New Zealand, American accent, Canadian accent, and sometimes Indian and European accent as well. So you got to be familiar with all these accents. My next tip would be the questions are designed so that the answers appear in order. This is a very important question, or tip rather. So all the questions and answer appear in order, in sequence. So it becomes easier for the candidate to understand if they are in case haphazard or they are written in different order, it will be certainly hard not to crack for the students, for the test takers. So they are in order. It's a blessing for the test takers. The next point would be at the start of each part, you will be given a short intro to the situation, a short introduction to the situation. It's quite normal that with the start of each part, there is actually a situation in a part presented by the examiner. So you got to understand the situation. But first, actually give a bit of introduction before starting the part. And the information is given like this. I'm going to give you first two examples. The first example, for example, this script will be played before starting the part 1, part 2, 3 and 4 accordingly. For example, you are now going to listen to a conversation between two students discussing their assignments in a language school. Or the second example, you're going to hear a conversation between Sarah, a university student, talking to her lecturer. So these kind of examples would be given, making it really convenient for you to understand further the part and its question and answers. The short intro would be given regarding all the situations presented in different parts. The next point is, before the recording starts, for each part, you will be given 30 seconds. 30 seconds to go through the questions. For example, the recording would say, you are given some time to look at question 1 to 5 or 1 to 6 maybe. So that's a very important time. You have to invest it very intelligently and effectively. So these 30 seconds are given to look at the questions ahead, and we'll talk in detail in the further video how you can intelligently invest your time in understanding the text and predicting it, as a matter of fact, predicting the answer. The next point would be, make sure you read the questions carefully to predict the answers. And the better you understand the questions, simply the better you would understand the answer. You would dig out the answer, understand the answer. So a better understanding of the questions with the time which is given to you, for example, 30 seconds, that has to be used intelligently and effectively. And just try to predict the answers, what comes in your mind. So you mustn't write it down instantaneously. Give yourself time to understand, and then when the recording will be played, you will have ample time to listen and to write the answers. Just try to enhance your focus, and it will also increase your concentration level when you will be just reading it before listening the recording. So that's my point. My most important, all important point is that you must invest that time, 30 seconds, very intelligently, I must say. And then you have to understand what is being asked by the examiner. For example, in the following blank, whether you need to write down a phone number, an empty space will be given for writing the phone number, or maybe an address, an incomplete address, or a person's name or a place name. So when you will be listening, you have to concentrate what part is left blank. In case of multiple choice, you have to listen to all the choices, and then you have to decide what is going to be the answer. We'll talk about all the question types later on in the next series, in the next videos. So better just wait for our next videos to be uploaded. Make sure you keep your concentration on the recording and eyes on the questions, because recording and questions both incorporate with each other. They have got a kind of relation with each other. Maybe sometimes the different words are used, different vocabulary is used, things are paraphrased. Though not exactly the same words, maybe vocabulary is used in a different way. It is adjective which you are listening and recording, and maybe it's adverb which has been used here in the text or the answer question sheet. So you have to just keep a very a hawk's eye rather on the text of the questions, and at the same time underline the keywords. You got the pencil kind of, so you can you can underline the keywords. The more intelligently you underline the keywords, the better you will be having your attention on the understanding of the answers. And the paper delivered text, for paper delivered paper test is like this. You can write down, you can underline the keywords. As far as the computer delivered test is concerned, in that case, there is an option on the screen for highlighting, so you can use it effectively and can make your task easier. So once again, about the accent, the recordings may have Australian accent, British accent, Canadian accent, or American accents. So you've got to understand the variety of accents. Actually, that's a very important thing if you want to be successful in listening subtest. That's the problem. We are not given the ear training actually in our education system. That's why we are not very good at listening. We can speak a little bit, we can write a little bit, but when it comes to listening, we are not capable listeners, because we are not being taught, or we haven't been taught in very comprehensive manners. Or both basic 4 skills are not taught, even in the English medium schools, so-called English medium schools. I'm not talking about the first ranking elite English medium schools. Over there, things are in a better position. But as far as our general schooling is concerned, over there, reading and writing are focused, not listening and speaking. So that's why students normally don't perform well in listening and speaking, as a matter of fact. So make sure you understand or you practice listening to all sorts of accents, and enough and ample practice is needed before going for the examination. So these are my very valuable tips, guys and girls. I understand and I make sure that you understand everything comprehensively, and you keep on downloading and watching our videos which are regarding the IELTS. In the future, we'll also upload some spoken English courses videos as well. They'll be very beneficial for you guys. So wait for our next video to be uploaded regarding the IELTS listening. In the next videos, we'll be talking about all the 4 parts actually of listening, previously known as sections, but now they are termed as parts in the 4th January 2020. A bit of changes. So God bless you all. Thank you very much indeed. We'll meet soon. We'll meet rather soon, not shortly. God bless you. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.